All right. Welcome back, everyone. We got episode 2 of Dynasty Daddies for the 2024 season. We got a special episode here today, power rankings. Everyone's excited to see where their team ranks.
Power rankings.
Um, but yeah, we got Hugo, we got Marty, we got just a 3-person cast today, so should be a pretty quick one. We'll just how it's gonna work. We're just gonna go right into it. We're gonna start at number 10, and then we'll talk about each player's draft and how it affects their rankings and whatnot as well as we're kind of talking through it. So, but without further ado, here we're gonna go right into it. Bring us up, number 10, Hugo.
All right, number 10 coming in last and definitely least. B Money baby.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's too surprised here. I don't think Brendan's surprised. I'll just kick us off. So, Brendan is last, but I think honestly, um, Brendan had a good draft, so I think he at least set himself up to you know, compete. I don't think he's gonna win in many games, maybe like 2 at the most. But he's got some good backups now on his bench that he can at least look forward to seeing them grow and whatnot. They get like 9 draft picks, so filled up that roster, had a lot of dead space on it. So there's still a couple players though that I'm looking at that are very droppable. Maybe take a look at the waiver wire, Brennan. I'm seeing like KJ Hamler still up there, Craig
That's my
Reynolds,
boy
like
baby.
yeah, Hugo Fleece on that one, bud. Um, yeah.
Mingo
What
is a sad story too,
yeah,
honestly. He's
Mingo's
a
been
bum.
Yeah.
kind of let down. I think he was a high second round pick last year. We'll go down
I
to his
like
tax
Shakir
sheet.
on his bench, though. I like
I think
Shakir on
his
his bench.
yeah, Shakir's good. I think Shakir and he has Shakir and Samuel that are kind of high points on this team. Those guys, either one of those guys could emerge as the number one receiver for Josh Allen, which would be pretty huge. That's a number one fantasy quarterback right there. So whoever
Yep.
he's thrown to is going to be fantasy relevant. So so good there, Brennan.
He drafted his running back of the future there in Jonathan Brooks. Like he's gonna be out the first 4 weeks at least of the year. But again, another building block. I'm right there with you, Matt. He had a good draft, and there's a sleeper on his team. It's this guy in his taxi right there, dude.
McMillan.
Jalen McMillan. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, I've been hearing good things about him. Godwin, Mike Evans, both kind of getting old and probably going to be on their way here in the next few years. That's someone Brennan could stash, and hopefully he turns into something. What are your thoughts, Marty? Kick us off with your thoughts.
Yeah, I don't know. Brennan's team is it's not pretty to look at, dude. It's I don't know. He doesn't have a first next year too. I saw that. That's kind of stressing me out too if I was him.
He's got
Judy, dude,
picks.
if hopefully this is the year. Hopefully this is the year that those first round picks worked out for him. But I mean, he's definitely got some pieces now. I think Brooks is probably not going to be great this year, but probably next year he'll be pretty nasty. And then I heard they're using Brock Bowers a shitload in a lot of different formations. And I also heard that he was like playing out of the backfield too, which is interesting. So I think they're going to use him in a lot of different ways, which would be kind of cool to see. So and then that Chase Brown running back too. Hopefully for
Big
Cincinnati, he
question
can do
mark, but
something. Yeah, hopefully he turns into something. I mean that could possibly be a starter for Brendan this year. Yeah, I think Brendan's just still got a long way to go before
He does,
is competing.
but I
I mean,
think if we're comparing his roster this year to last year, dude, much better. Like this is
yeah,
he actually could probably win a couple games here. Maybe
I'm
even 1, 2.
predicting 2 wins for Brendan this year. He's gonna sneak up on 2 people. I don't know
Yeah, he,
I'll
he might
take
catch some teams in the bye weeks, like their down
yeah,
weeks. So like
who.
that would be his shot there.
I'll take
Um,
the over. I bet he gets more than two, but
yeah, maybe he
it's
doesn't
like
finish last. I think that's his the high. That's like that would be like his best
Yeah,
season. Like just don't finish last. Like
yeah.
and he
Yeah,
doesn't have his own
the
first, so
bet to
make that
whoever
pick worse
finishes
for whoever has
last
it,
is Brendan or the field.
which I think is Brian.
it's definitely possible for him to make the playoffs, but it's not going to be easy. There's got a lot of things need to go right for him, and it's going to be a tough season though, probably realistically.
All right,
But
number
yeah,
9 on the rankings, Matt.
yeah, good job, Brennan. I think your draft was good, so yeah, things are looking up. But we'll move on to 9. Um, we got none other than the former champ here, maybe one-time champ ever in this league,
Hmm.
Dylan. Hopefully he's not a one and
All
done,
right,
but his team of late has
Dylan.
been lacking.
Give it that hot tuh. Love the name, Dylan.
Yeah, why don't you kick us off here, Hugo? I
All
know you
right,
like
Dylan.
when Dylan starts.
I've told you in the past, I think your team is passable. It's like you put a quality lineup out there. It's not gonna blow anyone away, but it's solid. It competes. I think you're definitely gonna have more wins than Brendan this year. But that's about it. Just only Brendan. I mean, you're gonna catch someone on a good week. Who knows when? Probably gonna catch me with
I'll tell you when.
freaking.
I'll tell you when, dude.
Uh,
His best opportunity to get wins is gonna be at the start of the season because his starting lineup is not that bad. But once the bye weeks start coming and he has to start filling those bye slots, dude, that's where he's gonna run into trouble.
Yeah,
So
that depth is where he is lacking for sure. So good call, Marty. I mean, his quarterback situation isn't the worst thing in the world. He could rotate him in. Um, but yeah, there's just no depth on this team, which is why he's the second worst team, according to the league, right?
Scroll down to his picks too. This is the worst part of his team.
Oh, hey, 2027's around the corner, boys.
Yeah, 2027 is a nice little bright spot there for his draft pick. So he must have been excited to see those because doesn't have a first or a second for the next three drafts. No, two drafts. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
He,
a little disappointing. I don't know how you're gonna rebuild here. You're gonna have to trade some players, probably get some more picks, but then you're gonna be even
I don't
worse.
think he can afford to trade players. He's gonna
Yeah.
literally have to draft Puka Nakua every round and every pick in the fourth.
I got Bo Nix. He got Bo Nix this year pretty late. But
Hawkinson
Yeah.
down there on his bench too. Like that's another player we probably could have
Yeah,
factor
he'll
into
make
it.
his way
He'll be
back.
good. I think Danny sold a little bit low on Hawkinson, so that was a good trade for Dylan.
Yep.
But he's got Njoku in the meantime. Njoku had, I would say, probably his breakout year last year. That was the
Yeah, he
best
was
year
a
he's ever
stud.
had. So he's got a lot to look forward to there. Godwin's getting older, still gets a lot of targets, so we'll see. Is Hubbard the guy? Hopefully for Dylan he is, but Jonathan Brooks looming in the background. I think that's going to be at least Jonathan Brooks' team next year. So I think Chuba Hubbard's going to be just like a 1 year player for him. I don't think he's going to really
yeah,
do too much anyways, but who knows what happens to him next year. I think he's a free agent next year.
Yep.
Brennan's future handcuff coming up.
Najee's up there too, and Singletary. I
Oh,
don't think those are
my
very
bad.
strong running backs, but yeah, we're still talking.
They'll get the job done. They'll for sure get the job done.
They'll put up points. They're not gonna put up 30-point games. I don't think, maybe once or twice, but if that. But and then I like his receivers. I do like his starting to Flowers and Waddle. Waddle I think had a down year last year, but I don't think that's going to be the case every year or this year, for a matter of fact. But and then Zay Flowers is the number one receiver on that team. So, and that Lamar Jackson's an MVP caliber talent. So whoever he's throwing to probably has a chance of being in the top 15. So yeah, but
I like
the depth is
Romeo.
definitely hurting.
Romeo Dobbs, maybe. I mean, Packers have a ton of good receivers, but Dobbs has a chance. I mean, he's gonna probably be a boomer bust kind of guy, but
Yeah,
maybe.
I'm high on Kyler Murray. I think he'll have a good year.
Yep.
So
yeah, I think
I
so
bet
too.
so too.
Yeah, quarterback's not his weak spot. I think he's got a pretty strong quarterback situation, but everywhere else is just kind of lacking depth. So
Yeah.
not really any superstars. So that's why you got 9. But I think he still wins a few games. Competes.
If there's one team he's for sure beating this year, it's definitely Steve.
Dude, it might be me, dude. His starting lineup week 1 isn't that bad. But like I said, I think if he has to deal with bye weeks or any sort of injuries, then his team is going to be moving on to the next one. Moving on to the
Yep.
next year.
Yeah.
Speaking of Matty Daddy, who came in at number 8?
Number 8, we got the newcomer here. That's going to be Danny Connolly.
He's got that big Penix energy, baby.
Big Penix energy. So I don't know if that's the case actually for Danny. So he can tell you all about that. He's got the Irish blood in him. So you can. I don't think that's actually the case, bud. Sorry.
Marty, give it to us.
Yeah. I mean, obviously newcomer to the league. He's been making moves. He's been making some moves here. I don't know if it's technically for the best when it comes to this year, but he just traded away A-Chain. But who I'm pretty high on this year. So yeah, I think he's gonna be right on that cusp of missing the playoffs. Or making it. So I mean, it's gonna be an interesting year for Danny. Let's see what he does in the in the regular season. If he makes more moves to come, I feel like he's probably not done trading. He's trying to really make this team his own. But starting lineup wise, I mean, it's
Solid.
not that bad.
It's a good
I mean,
lineup. It's a good lineup.
Pacheco, Olave, like those two are going to be pretty consistent for you throughout the year. High on Terry, scary Terry this year,
Sure,
man.
Terry.
Yeah.
He's got their
Got
jersey too.
Jaden.
The jersey
Yeah,
was fresh on the
Yeah,
draft
he
day.
bought the jersey. Low key fire.
yeah.
I hated it at first, but looking
It looked
back, low key
nice.
fire.
I like it. Simple design. I like the colors though. Almost reminded me of Alvin's colors, but well, obviously better. But
I'm
I
pretty
liked it.
excited for I almost said the Redskins for Washington to like see what they can do this year. So
Dude, I've always
Terry,
been
that
calling
offense is gonna be
Danny.
cool.
I've always been calling Danny Hammer Dan. I think I'm gonna call him Commander Dan from now on.
Commander Dan.
Commander Dan.
Lieutenant Dan is his gamer tag. Commander Dan, Lieutenant
um
Dan. Kind of see it.
running back, I mean Rashad White and Pacheco are gonna probably be just fine for him, but Javante and Mostert is where I start getting a little more concerned. Hopefully Javante can bounce back from he's hurt last year, so
Yeah, I
hopefully he
don't
can
think
have
Danny's.
a good year. But
I agree.
Mostert, I think, I mean, he's getting up there too, so hopefully he can stay healthy for Danny. But now, I mean, they just drafted another running back, so we'll see how that committee is going to be now with Mostert.
Yeah, I think that's always going to be a committee backfield. So honestly, you said you didn't like that he traded Agent. I thought that was actually a great deal for Danny. I mean, obviously Hugo could
Yeah,
afford to move some assets, but I think Danny needs more assets and A Chain. And he has Mostert, so it's not like he's really losing. Like, I don't know if you're ever going to start Mostert and A Chain. I mean, maybe you do, but at least now he just have to make that decision, like who he wants to start, and it just plugs in Mostert every week, and he got a first and a second out of it too. So and Javonte Williams, who he can start, and I think Williams, maybe doesn't have as great a year as A Chain if A Chain's heavily involved, but it's not going to be too far off for total points. I bet if Williams is, their go-to guy for the whole year. You know. But yeah, I thought that was a great trade for both parties. But I liked it a lot for Danny.
yeah,
Go down to his bench because his starting lineup's solid. I like that. It's just his bench that is a little. It's again where he's weaker. But he did have a good draft. I thought he probably had like the second best draft for looking at that right after Vince, who had the first 3 picks. Kevin Coleman being I think he drafted him at 5, right? And then he took Thomas at 7. So took the next 2 best receivers that
Solid
were there.
back-to-back picks.
Yeah.
Coleman and Thomas, both gonna be studs, I think.
Yeah. So, and then he just had a lot of good depth picks too in the draft. Just I think he was like drafting guys that he liked too, just guys that he was high on personally. Like I think he drafted some Texas guys. I believe. I think he drafted Javion Sanders. Since he couldn't get Mitchell or Worthy. Go down to his taxi. I think that's where his I don't know if Jatavian Sanders on his bench. Okay.
yeah. Texas
Yeah, he's
boy.
got
Texas
Shaheed
boy.
on his
Yeah.
bench, Wicks on his bench, and I mean, his taxi's okay. Malik Washington's my favorite player on there.
Yeah, I like Vidal too. I think that backfield's not really strong. I think Vidal can make a case if he gets worked in somehow and emerges. So, maybe there's some gold there. Keaton Mitchell, he kind of had like a emergence games last year, but on PUP. So
Yeah, long
you
way
know,
to go from that ACL. That was a bad injury.
yeah, it was definitely a nasty one. And then Henry's there now too. So, but yeah, this is definitely the weakest part is definitely your bench. So I mean, but there's a lot to work with here. But we got Jetty here for a reason, and that's pretty much why. The depth is key in this league. You got to be healthy, and if you're not, then you got to have the guys to plug in if you want to stand a chance at winning. So I just don't see Danny making playoffs. Best case scenario, he does make playoffs, but I don't see him going far. Any final thoughts?
I want to give Danny a big shout out on starting the Baltimore defense against Patrick Mahomes on week 1. Real bold move, freaking Danny. I hope it pays off for you, Cotton.
Dude,
Wait,
well, go ahead,
You're gonna
Mike.
learn that defenses score a lot of points in this league, Danny, and that might not be such a smart idea to do that one. So, just as much as they can score big, they can give you nothing.
Yeah, even negative. I think maybe
Yeah,
not in this league. But maybe yeah.
it's
I think they
tough to
can.
go negative, but it's easy to score 0.
Oh, for sure.
So
What were you
I
gonna say, Marty?
solid.
I was just gonna say, I think I mean, quarterback is the other area where he might have a little bit of trouble. Speaking from somebody who
Yeah,
lost 4 quarterbacks last year, there's not really too much out there, but
Purdy
all
and
you
Derek Carr.
that's pretty much all you can lean on right now. But I love the Penix nickname in memory of Mr. Berrigan.
Yeah, that was a nice tribute to Alex. Yeah, Alex
Yes.
would have loved that.
Well
R.I.P.
Like we were talking about him like he's dead.
Yeah.
done.
He would have loved that so much, Stanny. That was so nice
Yeah.
of you. In memory.
All right. Safe to say, boys, those bottom three teams bottom consistently on everyone else's charts, right?
Yeah, it was pretty much consistent across the board. None of those teams were above the bottom three. I don't think in anyone's power rankings. And I think I already explained this, but what we did was I literally reached out to everybody, got their power rankings, and then just averaged it all out, consolidated from the consolidated rankings. And you know, it was an interesting process. I think a lot of people had their teams higher than what the actual average was, which makes sense. I guess everyone's high on their own team, but
Brian.
So, yeah,
yeah,
some more
Brian
than
put
the
himself
next
at one.
a team we're about to talk about.
Yeah, so Brian,
Spoiler
you
alert.
yeah, spoiler alert. Yeah, that's a number 17. It's Brian. So why don't we just pull him up? Let's bring his
Number one, Coco, what the fuck are you thinking, dude?
yeah.
Where the hell are you?
Nobody
May
had him
Nana
that
bless
high.
me.
I think Steve had him at 3. And Steve for some reason still
Right on
very high
Yeah.
six
on
on
him.
the list there, guy.
And Steve's logic was, oh well, Brian was in the championship last year and he added Caleb Williams, so we don't. It's like, how can he go down? I'm like, well, I mean, I don't know. In my opinion, I think a lot of trades happen in the offseason. A lot of teams are different now. Like just because one team hasn't changed doesn't mean that he stays there. Like a lot
Yeah.
of stuff can change.
I thought we had a pretty active off season this year.
Yeah, we did. We had a pretty active trade market, and right after the draft too, there's a lot of pickups. People just adding players left and right. Even now, like we got players getting added pretty much daily.
Yeah.
Which it's football season here, boys. We're a week away from opening week, and
Yep.
it's time.
Can I get it? Can I give Coco the rundown here?
Yeah. Yep.
Go
All
ahead.
right. Coco, I was personally I hated that Caleb Williams slid to you because I am a believer in Caleb Williams. You're right. Getting him at number 9 was definitely a steal in my eyes, but congrats. I think that's the last and only bright spot on your team going forward here, Coco. I think you being at number 7, dude, should be a slap in the face that Mr. I'm contending for a championship maybe should start selling, because this wasn't just me putting you at number 7, which I did in my personal rankings, but the league agrees with me too. So I'm glad that you did come in at this spot, because everyone's been saying old team, relying on Gus Edwards, Joe Mixon, freaking Calvin Ridley, and everyone's boy, Lil Davy. And I'm only going to talk about those guys because obviously Tyreek, Kelsey, and McCaffrey, those guys are freaking ageless, and they're Hall of Fame players that are the best at what they do all time. But the other guys about to go down a big cliff. But hey, maybe you got one last ride here. What do
This
you
is
guys
it.
think about Coco?
Yeah, I think I agree there. I think he's got one last ride out of this roster. He's gonna have to rebuild here soon. Probably gonna be after this year, and if he doesn't make playoffs, it's
Definitely
gonna be
after this
before this
year.
season ends. But yeah,
He's going
I
to be
mean,
a big trade deadline seller.
but that's not to say Brian's gonna be out of competition. He's definitely gonna compete. But I think he's gonna be kind of fighting for that like 5 or 6 seed spot. There's probably like 4 teams that are gonna be doing that, so I think he's gonna be one of those. But go to his bench. This is where I think his biggest weakness is too. We've been preaching depth is important in this league, and
Depth is very important.
why the fuck do you have 5 quarterbacks, bud? Why? You need to move some of those guys. Like, look, go talk to Jorge. Jorge's got 1 quarterback he can start right now. I think that's his biggest weakness. So he'll
Freaking match
probably
made
take
in
some of those
heaven.
guys from you, dude.
Yeah,
Just throwing it out there. So people need quarterbacks.
Sell him Daniel Jones, dude. He's a Giants fan. Maybe he bites.
Does he have 6 quarterbacks? Go to his taxi. Who's go for the demo.
Oh
He's
my
got May.
God! Does
He's
he
got
have?
May.
He has Drake May.
He has 6
in there, that's
quarterbacks,
right.
dude. What are you doing? Dude, get some better fucking depth. I like his. I go back to his taxi though. I like McCaffrey now that Dawson's got. He actually probably has a chance now. Kendrick Mills still down there. And hopefully he comes up and
It's a
takes over
good
from there.
taxi squad because
Yeah.
Estime's looking better too in Denver. But Drake May, yeah, looked potentially good. So solid taxi.
Like, why did you
Honestly-
draft 2 quarterbacks in this draft? That didn't make. I made one made sense, and then you could move some other ones, but you drafted 2. What the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Sorry.
These 3 draft picks down here are the reason why he is resetting after this year.
Yeah, this will be
So-
that'll be a rebuild year for him next year for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, you could honestly probably get away with dropping go back up. I'm trying to remember who he had. Minshew and probably Daniel Jones at this point, dude. I
don't
mean,
drop him. Try to get something for him, maybe like a 4th or a 5th if no one.
Yeah, I'd at
no
least
one's
get
gonna
a
bite. No, who's gonna give him a 4th or
Jorge
5th?
has
I mean,
Dylan.
Dylan.
quarterback,
Dylan
dude.
has so
Dylan-
many
Dylan
of
has-
them, dude.
Shit, I don't know if Dylan's moving any more picks. Honestly, he
But
shouldn't. But yeah.
quarterback's not something he needs.
yeah, I had Brian, I think, at 6, or 7. I can't remember exactly, but I think his starting lineup is good, obviously, but that last flex position with Sutton there is, I mean, I'm trying to avoid Sutton in every single league. I don't want him, but I think he's just same thing. Bye weeks when they start coming, that's when things might get a little tricky when his top dogs aren't there to eat for him. I mean, things can get a little tricky there for you. And if, God forbid, if you have to deal with any sort of injuries, then you could be in trouble this year. But I think it's either going to be
Yikes,
Brian's either going to have a great year or it's going to be a terrible year. I don't think there's really going to be a middle ground for him.
He needs to stay healthy. That's the biggest thing. If he loses one of those stars there, I think he might be fucked.
Yep.
His bench is all just full of backups. It's not like anyone you can plug in and play.
It's
and
there's no
aside from
depth on this
Douglas,
bench,
I
dude.
guess. But Douglas, even on that offense, I'm not high on anyone in that receiving core right now. So
Yeah. If he loses McCaffrey for the year, dude, he's toast.
yeah, And even
McCaffrey and
Kelce-
Tyreek Hill.
Kelsey.
Yeah.
Kelsey's getting old. Like he got hurt at the beginning of
Those
last
3,
year.
dude,
He
he's
missed some time last
toast.
year. McCaffrey's always injury prone. Tyreek Hill's even questionable now. Like I don't think if those guys are healthy, like you'll be fine. But
Yeah.
any one of those
That
three
is the
goes down,
one
you're
thing
done.
we say year in and year out about Coco. It's like those 3 guys are not gonna carry you, dude, and then they do every year, which sucks.
He
dude.
gets lucky with the health and
It sucks, dude. He gets hot right at like playoff time every year. It sucks, dude.
yeah, it's frustrating as hell. But
You're gonna have a miserable year, Coco. Hopefully.
The fact that Brian put himself 1, guys. So just keep that in mind as we're moving on here.
What an asshole.
As we're looking at this team.
Love you,
it's definitely
Coco.
7, but rightfully so. But yeah, we can move on here. I don't have much more else to say unless you guys do.
Nope. All right. So, number 6. May I introduce it because I wanted to talk about like spicing things up a little bit. Matt, you tell me how you feel about this. This is spot live on the air here. We always skip over talking about our own teams. Do you want to talk about why maybe we ranked you at number 6 as a league?
I couldn't tell you. I was pretty consistently though, like 4, 5, 6, 7. Like that was pretty much. I was like right in the middle of the pack, and I think that's fair. Like I'm not gonna put myself in like top 3 or anything like that. I'm not like I feel like I'm a little bit more humble than most people. So that's not a humble statement, but
That's good. Very humble of you right there. Very
Yep.
humble of you.
Yeah, I'm very humble. But that said, I think I have a lot of depth, and I think I can plug in guys if I need to if someone gets hurt. And I like my starting roster, so I got a lot to look forward to. But yeah, you guys can.
I love that. No, that's exactly what I was hoping that you'd say. Like, hey, like you gave a reason. Perfect, dude. Thank you for that. Marty, you want to run it down?
Yeah, I was like torn between who I wanted to put above, who I wanted to go higher, you or Steve. But I think I ended up going Steve and putting you at 6. But can you scroll down a little bit? I mean, I agree. The starting lineup is good. I mean, CJ Stroud, possible MVP candidate. DeAndre Swift, new offense in Chicago.
That's gonna be a little question mark for me too.
I mean,
Sure.
Swift, yeah, I think, well, the reason why I had you a little bit lower is because there's a lot of players that I'm just not sure how their season is going to shake out. Because, like DeAndre Swift, Keenan Allen, they're in brand new offenses, and Chicago, they have a ton of weapons on offense. So, I'm just not sure how things are going to shake out with Caleb Williams right away here. So I was a little unsure. And then Ford too. I know he was starter caliber when Chubb was out. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen with Nick Chubb at this point here? How he recovers from that injury and if he can bounce back or not. So there, I mean, Debo too, like a great player, but I've had him in this league before, and they use him a lot, and he gets hurt a lot too. So there's a lot of things that were just kind of making me feel a little iffy. But I do agree with you that there's a lot of depth on this team. I love Jaden Daniels. I hope this
Love
guy
this draft pick, man.
I hope the sky's the limit for him. Yeah, at the time I was pretty surprised that you drafted him with the first pick in the second round, but looking back on it, I think that was a great pick.
Yeah, I need a quarterback. Geno Smith
Yeah.
as a backup wasn't really exciting, honestly. I wanted to
Yeah, he's
get
not
another
really
young stud.
a flashy guy. Hopefully Seattle drafts a quarterback next year. I bet they probably do. But yeah, Ramondre, again, another player where it's going to be a little tough to tell like what his season's going to look like because New England it's going to be a rough year for them. So, who knows? Hopefully, they're going to have to lean on the run.
67% started, so it's not
Yeah,
like it's
they're going to
really
lean on the
starter.
run probably and give
they're gonna
Drake
have
May
to.
some time. So
One of the
maybe
reasons
he
why
has
I
a
want
good
him.
year, but if that offense is struggling, then the run game is probably going to struggle too. So yeah,
I like your bench, Matt, with Palmer and Wandale Robinson. I think those are two very underrated receivers this year in fantasy that could like sneak into like consistent. Hey, not consistent, I mean, but a possible flex player that could fill in for you on a any given week. I'm high on both of those players, so I had you as my personal 5. I thought more of you than the league clearly because of your bench. And how you can take a hit should one of your guys go down. Yeah, my thing with you is just at number 6, what Marty said perfectly. The Swift is a maybe, and then with Ford, that's gonna be temporary. So who are you gonna put in after that? So that's why I said that.
Yeah, I don't know if Ford will be temporary though. He had a great season last year filling in for Chubb, and he's going to be the starter for the first 4 weeks. So like, why if he does well, like why would they? He's definitely going to take less snaps, but he's still going to be involved.
Yeah, they just ease Chubb in. That's the only thing.
And who even says Chubb comes back the same? I feel like Chubb's on his way out.
possible.
But yeah,
We'll
go down
see.
to my taxi too. You guys didn't even talk about my taxi.
Yes. All right. May I, Marty?
Go ahead. You want to talk about Shipley?
Yeah, I do. Love this kid. He's dude, he's an ugly motherfucker though. If for those of you watching, look at this guy.
What the fuck?
If he wore just a mustache, he'd look just like Brendan. That's how ugly he is. So
Whoa, dude! Shots fired.
so I like your taxi, Wiley, right behind Kittle. Or I'm sorry, Kelsey. I mean, wrong K. He had a good training camp. I read up a lot about him. They like him over there. AD Mitchell in the taxi squad is freaking just flexing on the league that you got a nice potential player there that is going to be getting starter reps right off the rip because Josh Downs is hurt. So we'll see what he does. And Roman Wilson, I was higher on him earlier in the preseason, like in the draft time, than I am now going into the year. We'll see how he is. I liked him at Michigan. So good taxi squad. I like it very much. I didn't really base my rankings off draft picks, so I didn't even take them into account. So I'm not really going to talk about your picks, but I think that you're going to be in the playoff hunt for sure. In that 5 or 6 seed, just barely making it in.
Yeah, I agree. I think top 4. I think I've said this before. I think I finished at best top 4, but definitely 5 or 6.
5 or
And
6 is
if
what
I
got.
finish out of the playoffs, then I will be thoroughly surprised and looking to flip players again, per usual.
Yep.
Honestly, I think like the top, like the 3 to like 6 range, I think is it's going to be a pretty competitive bunch. The 3 through
Yeah.
6. I don't think the teams are really that far off from each other realistically. So even if like in Matt's case, like he's ranked number 6, I really don't think he's that far off from 4 or 3. So
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. All right.
Shit.
Number 5. Let's get into it, boys. Who you got, Maddie?
Number 5 is none other than the doctor or one of the doctors in the league. That's
One
Dr.
of the
Beaujolais. Hey, we got 2 doctors in this league. We got some good brains in this league. But yeah, we got Steve here at 5. Steve was pretty consistently in the 5, 6, 7 range. I think he put himself at like 3 or 4, which I think is a little bit too high, but he finished 5. So I think I think that's fair. I think Steve's going to be right in the hunt. Just with the rest of that bunch there, he's definitely got a good roster. I think he's lacking on depth though, as his biggest weakness in a couple areas. So, but yeah, but it's just kind of his 2 strong points, or his strongest points are definitely his two running backs
The
there.
2
Gibson,
RBs for
Robinson.
sure.
Those are probably the top 2 running backs in fantasy for as far as dynasty goes. Like those guys are going top of the board usually in a lot of drafts, at least in the first round. And then his first 2 receivers there, DJ Moore, Garrett Wilson, solid. Only thing I don't like is with DJ Moore. Like, yeah, I think he's still gonna be the number 1 receiver there, but there's a lot more mouths to feed, and who knows what, if someone, Dunze could emerge and take more targets away, and Keenan Allen's definitely gonna take at least 100 targets this year. So, and then Swift is also kind of receiving back. So, yeah, and then Kyle Pitts, this better be his big year. I think Kirk Cousins will be good for him. So, can finally get a little bit more excited this year for Kyle Pitts. Last year, probably not so much.
Is this year finally the year he breaks out?
I think it has to be. So if he finishes top 10, I feel like Steve would be pretty happy about that. Henry, Connor, Johnson. This is his last big year. I feel like they're gonna run him to the fucking bone. I've been saying this.
Agree.
So I think that's a great flex player right there at least. James Conner too. I think he's gonna be another great flex player. He's sometimes kind of injury prone though, so hopefully he doesn't miss too much time for Steve. I don't know who we plug in for Connor there, but maybe we can look at his bench. Johnson's in a new system. Bryce Young kind of sucks, so I'm not too high on Johnson. I'll be honest with you. I have him in one other league, but I mean, I'm not even that high on him in that league. But just holding on to him for the hope.
Yeah. This part right here we're about to talk about is bench, Matt. This is why I ranked you ahead of Steve in my personal rankings.
Yeah.
I'm upset the league didn't see the same thing I was looking at. His bench is not as good as your bench, but he's got the spot over you. So, what do you guys think about this bench here?
Pretty old. I mean, his next 2 receivers are Thielen and D-Hop. So I think Steve's been looking for a receiver for a while now. So I think he knows that he's just kind of missing one extra guy right now, another person that he can lean on bye weeks and cover an injury if that happens. So
Dotson
and Dotson, yeah, I think that just hurts a lot, honestly. I would have liked him better in with Washington. And then Christian Watson, hopefully, there's the Packers had a great offense last year, so hopefully Watson
this is make or break year for Watson.
I had him in another league last year. He just really wasn't that great.
Pull Watson up.
A little worried.
Yeah, like 68 in the last year. It seems like he just has a health problem, right? If I'm not wrong, he just gets hurt a lot.
Yeah, look at this. Last year to start the year, missed the first 3 weeks, came back, played. They eased him in, played 46%, 11 points. Then he was fully back for most of the year. Honestly, from week 5 to 13, he was playing a lot, and then here's the fall off again, boys. He just gets hurt again.
Yeah. So
yeah, you can't really count on injuries. Hopefully, he had a couple good games, but
yeah, 2 really good games, Detroit and Kansas City.
Out of 7 games, you're hoping to see more. Unfortunately, we didn't really get to see that production, especially compared to his draft value. So
yeah, and in those weeks that he's missing too, they got 3 other great receivers that are gonna just click with Jordan Love more and build that chemistry, and you hope that Watson stays healthy and can continue to click with Love. But and then he has Nick Chubb too.
Yeah, that he just traded for a 3rd and a 4th. Vinny offered me a 2nd for him. I'm like, no, get out of here, dude. But a 3rd and a 4th. I'm shocked Steve actually paid this, but hey, Steve's just again shooting his shot, not wanting to spend a lot of draft capital. He's the Robert Kraft of our fantasy league. looking to do things the cheap way.
Very much so, dude. How cheap can I
third
get
and-
this player for? It basically is what his trade offers always are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you like that little analogy right there? I was waiting to bust that one out. That's
good.
new this year.
Lines
Mr.
up.
Beaujolais Craft. So he traded a third and a fourth, and hoping that he could be that flex spot that I think Marty you were talking about. That he needs another guy.
And he's
But
got McConkey though, but
I was about to say,
I'm
Marty,
surprised he's on his taxi,
I'm
honestly.
shocked
Yeah.
he's on his taxi squad. I guarantee you that's going to be a starter for him week 1.
yeah,
he
you
could.
might want to
No
swap him
chance he
before.
has him there.
McConkey
Week
has
1,
a
he's
good
in his
couple
starting
first weeks.
lineup.
He's going to be tempted to take him off his taxi, so I would take him off, Steve. I mean,
Yeah.
personally, we'll go pick
And
up a rookie in free agency and just throw one on.
exactly, dude. Be
Yeah.
a better GM here,
You
Steve.
could
Come
drop.
on.
We could drop one of their players in your bench. I think you got like Colby Parkinson up there and a couple other guys you could probably drop.
You guys keeping Sammy Howell on his taxi or what?
And at this point,
I think that's a killed experiment, though.
Yeah, his time to I got offered a first last year from Alex. So Danny, imagine that, dude. Imagine another trade. Looking back on it, a first for Sam Howell. How much pissed would you have been about that? See, that was the time, and then that was when I offered Alex a second, or yes, no, he offered me a second for Purdy. I was like, yeah, I'll take it.
Shout out to Steve for having my first rounder this coming year. Hope you like where it lands.
Yeah, but
yeah, I mean, long story short, I think Steve is I mean, he's got a contender team, and he's a few pieces off of being one of the top dogs. So
yeah, he can be.
see.
He definitely is going to be in the hunt here. Yeah, but number 4 here. That was going to be who the heck was that?
Get ready to have the world's smallest violin going.
Oh yeah, it's Hugo.
You motherfuckers, dude. You motherfuckers. Fuck all of you guys in this league. Number
I'm
4?
ranked
Are you
4. I'm ranked 4
fucking
out of 10
kidding me, dude?
teams. Ugh.
Number 4? That's such a slap in the face to me, dude. I was pissed when you told me I was number 4, dude.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
dude. All right. I get to look at the nice little view of my team, so have at it, boys. Unless I can continue ranting, which I will later on after you guys talk about me, but
Yeah,
Yep.
shut up for the
Give it
next
me.
5 minutes here. Just be quiet.
give it to me.
Well, first of all, he has 2 shitty Eagles players, Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown.
You motherfucker, dude. Don't get me going more than I already am, dude. I've been waiting for this fucking next
2 big
5-10
weaknesses
minutes
there, dude.
all fucking day long, dude.
27 points from Hurts week 1. I don't think so, dude. No, but seriously though, no, Hugo's roster is pretty solid. It's definitely one of the best rosters. I personally had him at 3. And obviously Hurts is a high spot on his team, and he's got Herbert on his bench, so doesn't have to worry too much about quarterbacks. A-Chain, Kyren, I'm not the highest on either one of them. I think they're serviceable. They'll be fine. Kyren is now in competition with Corum, as I've heard.
Yeah, I heard
killing
Corum
it
is
in preseason,
yeah.
and they're going to be. They're
I have
definitely
them
gonna
both. Who
recommend.
cares?
I know, but
Yeah, but
if
you're not
they
going to start both. So
yeah,
like,
if they start splitting the backfield,
and then
it's
just put
gonna be a little
Kyren
bit
on punt
harder.
returns, which is not what you want to hear from your running back 1, dude. That's not what
Kyren
you want
is
to
the
hear.
least of my worries right now.
Yeah.
He's in your starting lineup. He's in your starting. He definitely should be a worry. I don't think he's not a worry, but he definitely is not. I don't know. I think his stock went down a little bit this offseason. A-Chain. I like A-Chain. Again, though, it's a committee. And then it seems like injury is already a problem for him. And he's not a very big running back. So, like, I don't see him being really like a workhorse back, to be honest with you. I think that's why they drafted Jalen Wright. They're looking to kind of, have a healthy bunch of running backs, at least that they can work as a committee and keep them all healthy. Not to say he's not going to put up numbers. In limited snaps he got last year, he put up some pretty freak numbers. So, hopefully that's going to be the case for him. But I don't know if that's going to be the case every week. What do you think about HMR? I know you were trying to get.
Oh yeah, I'm high on him. I mean, even if it is a committee, I think he is going to be a pretty consistent guy. So, I mean, he's going to catch the ball. He'll get plenty of touches. So, and that offense is going to be scoring touchdowns. So, I don't really have too much of any sort of fear. If I had him on my team, I'd be rocking and rolling him every single week. But it's just me.
Yeah, I disagree on the consistency part, but that's all right. But we'll go to the receivers here. We got Rice, we got Brown. Um, Rice, I think, takes a little bit of a dip this year. He definitely had a great rookie year. That whole car accident thing though, where he was hit and run, that's definitely a concern. He's gonna get suspended eventually. Could be a big suspension too. If
Yeah,
he
why
was
is
hit and
his
run.
nickname like criminal or something like that, dude? 'Cause
I almost
just
changed my team name to be like Rishi Rice's street racer or something like that. But
That's better than
I
Tank's Army, dude. Show him that.
I didn't have the heart to do it. I did think about it though. Rishi Rice's street racers, just because it like off the tongue, it just rolled so well.
I like it.
So maybe I am thinking about changing my team name.
Not too late.
Not too late. We'll see. We'll see. But dude, I'm not worried about Rishi Rice whatsoever. This guy is
Hugo,
Patrick Mahomes' is
Hugo,
wide
shut
receiver
up, dude.
one.
We're talking about your team.
Maybe, but now they have Hollywood there, and they also have Worthy coming in. So
Yeah, dude. His stock definitely comes down this year with that. Where they
Zero
drafted
worry.
Worthy pretty high for a reason. They brought in Hollywood. They're concerned. They're concerned about Rice. And they also want to get more weapons from Mahomes. More weapons from Mahomes means less targets for Rice. So, I'm not that high on him. The fact is in your starting lineup, wouldn't be that high on him, but he's definitely startable. But AJ Brown, not much too much to say there. He's elite. He's gonna be one of the. He's if you have some stars on your team, he's definitely one of them. I know you love your Eagles, so I know you're excited to have him. Mark Andrews,
gonna be a beast
elite.
this year.
Health though another concern. He just seems to get hurt a lot, and I think you have the tight ends to kind of back him up. But not too worried about that.
Your boy Tank,
Yeah, God,
I
Mark,
love this guy.
flex.
he's the big play guy. So hopefully, I mean that offense has also got a lot of mouths to feed now too. So Diggs, Nico, and Tank all together. I mean that offense is gonna be sick. But
Yeah, I'm so
maybe
pumped to
one
have
of the
Stroud.
best in the league now. And then Mixon too. So that'll be cool to watch.
It sounds
But
like Dell is Stroud's like buddy too. Like they're like their chemistry is going to be a big reason why Dell's going to be probably a star in this league. And then
And
Cup. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
the reason why I had you ranked fourth, Hugo, is where we start getting into the weeds here. I mean, with Cooper Cup, I mean, obviously he is nasty.
He's
Has
nasty.
he has that report with Stafford, but he's getting up there. And Puka Nakua just had a nasty year, so I'm sure he's going to have a good year. I just don't know if he's going to be,
Is he
the
going to be
star
a
that
good
he
year though?
was.
Pull up his player
I
card.
think so.
Like look at his numbers last year, dude. I don't know. I think he's on the downslope. I think last year.
No, he was freaking great last year when he played. Freaking, this was a down slope.
Not
Yes.
as normal. Not as normal production though, dude.
But
That 12 catch game.
this is the injury part, and then to
Yeah.
close back out, consistent.
Yeah, I think he's on his way down, dude. He's definitely on the down slope, but
Yeah.
definitely startable.
Not the
so.
2 years ago Cooper Cup, so I'm not
No.
expecting
Setting
that, but
Injury
records.
prone.
still a
too.
1,000-yard receiver this in the league.
Yeah. Ayuk is a big highlight on your team now, especially with that contract he just signed today, for like literally I think an hour before the podcast started. Yeah, he got paid. I think 120 mil, 4 years, 30 mil a year. I think it was 76 mil guaranteed. That's money in the
That's
bank
big
right
boy.
there for Ayuk.
That's
Should
a
be
big
excited
boy
about that.
contract.
Yeah, he'll be 1 or 2 receiver with Debo. So I don't think Debo's going anywhere unless he gets hurt. But yeah, solid starting lineup. But this is where I think is your biggest strength. Is why I had you at 3. And like we were talking before, you have some players with health concerns. This is why you have this bench here. It's you got Aaron Jones, Pollard, Corum if Kyron Williams goes down. You got Chandler if Aaron Jones goes down. The handcuff strategy is underrated in this league. I don't think many people do it, but it's me and Hugo do.
Well,
And
Hugo's doing it. He's doing it all
it's
right.
smart. You don't want to be
I'm
the
the
guy that
king
doesn't
of it,
have the
too.
handcuff when your guy goes down. You're trying to trade for him or trying to fill in a spot. It's like, would you just rather have the guy to just fill in, like rather than trying to wonder if you have the guy that you can plug in and start? Like,
I'll never scramble for an injury. You
Yeah.
can't do it in Dynasty. It doesn't work
Can't.
like redraft does.
You can't. Yeah, and that's definitely why you're 3 here. Addison, Williams, like solid. Addison, I don't know with Sam Darnold there. I think him and Jefferson are definitely gonna have a down year compared to their previous seasons. And who even knows if Darnold's even gonna be the quarterback all year? I don't think so. K-Dot and Fryermuth, solid backups. I don't think you're gonna be starting those guys any given week, but you got Mark Andrews. So when his bye week, you can at least plug in one of those guys. So, yeah, McCarthy on the IR. Sucks that he got hurt this year, but you probably don't care too much.
You don't
'cause
wanna
you
you
got
don't
the
wanna
quarterbacks
switch
to
him
go.
over to Taxi?
Nah, dude, that's a perfect spot for him. IR.
Yeah, he's there all year.
I don't need 3 IR spots, dude.
You might, but
I mean, you might.
Nah.
I
Injuries.
don't know. I mean, it's
I
definitely.
needed it last year, so you might need it this year. Who
Our
knows?
teams
Who
are
knows,
built
yeah.
different, Marty. No one has depth like me.
It had nothing to do with depth. It just has to do with injuries. Injuries happen.
Yeah, if you want to have open IR spots, you got a lot of injuries. But yeah, and then your taxi's pretty good. I don't think there's anyone on that that's jumping off paper to me, but
No,
Theo Johnson
Just
would be
just guys I'm looking
good
next
guy
year
there.
plays. I'm
Yeah,
not expecting anything from these guys this year. Just get me to next year with these taxis.
yeah. So, but yeah, overall, you're up there. You're probably going to be a top 4 team at the end of the year. If you finish outside of playoffs, it's going to be because of injuries and lots of injuries. So, but that's the worst case scenario. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Real quick. Before closing. This bench that I have, not that we're freaking gonna be blowing our socks off talking about a bench. This is something that I'm proud of. Like what you're saying, the handcuff strategy, the having players to just put in, like having depth, not needing to worry about injuries, dude. This is why I personally ranked myself only behind Vinny in this league at number 2. Because no one has the depth I do. No one has like a freaking A+ lineup like I do. That's why I'm upset at the league that I don't think higher of my team. I'm not mad about 4. Thank you for number 4 because I know I am a top 4 team, but I think you guys are underestimating me. Regular season standings, I finished second last year. So in the long haul, I know this team has durability. It's not a concern. So I'm pissed at number 4, and I just wanted to get that off my chest.
You are speaking your own demise, dude. I rated you 2 one time, and that's the year that you missed the playoffs. So when
Yeah, dude.
you rate yourself 2 this year, I mean, you're putting that evil on yourself again, dude. I'd be careful.
All right, let's move on.
Move on to the person that beat me out. F you, freaking Morty.
Beat you out or never mind.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, this is a family friendly. Be quiet over there, you
Oopsie.
pervert. Yeah, we'll talk about Marty's team. Marty, you can sit still for a few minutes here. Yeah, Marty is number 3 here for many reasons. He's got probably I would say the best running back group in the league. He's also got some good solid receivers. I think his depth is solid too. Richardson is a exciting starting quarterback. You want the guy who can run the ball. So, at best he's probably like a Lamar Jackson type player.
It's going to be a fun person to root for this year in fantasy.
Yeah,
He can stay fucking healthy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully he stays healthy. That's his biggest issue. It seems
I like Marty's fun factor on his team here.
But players can't get hurt every year, so hopefully his rookie year is just like a fluke thing. Like hopefully he has a good healthy career. Brees Hall, Barkley, Ken Walker, those are 3 pretty monsters running backs. I think Ken Walker's as good as a running back 2 as you can get. You have him in your flex, so that's pretty solid. Diggs getting older, crowded, probably the most crowded receiver room he's been in. So I think he's still going to be pretty good. I think he still gets close to 100 targets. I think he'll get a lot of touchdowns. I think that's what's going to carry him this year. Get close to 10 touchdowns maybe. Metcalf is, speedster, kind of had a down year last year, but still pretty solid.
I like him a lot this year.
Yeah,
I'm
pretty
excited for him.
consistent guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just gotta hope that the new coordinator there works him in as much as they have been.
Well said, Matt, because that was my one concern with I know you rely on Seahawks players a little bit. They're a team that's like trending down like in the NFL. So that is the only like shady spot in your lineup for me, Marty. Not that they're bad players, it's just I have no idea how their offense is gonna look this year.
Yeah, it sounds like they're kind of trying to simple or dumb down the offense a bit too for Gino and kind of keep
Yeah,
things
you're
simple.
right,
So, I think that'll still be a great offense. Nonetheless, I think they're gonna they'll be like a top 15 offense. A big reason for that's Metcalf and Walker. Tyler Lockett's still there. Hopefully Jackson Smith and Jigba emerges there for them too. I mean, hopefully not for you for Metcalf, but yeah. And then your bench is solid too. I don't think
Great
there's
bench.
too many holes on your bench. Burrow, Rodgers as your backups to Richardson. You know, I don't think it gets much better than that for backups. Yeah, you can be excited about Trey Benson probably taking over in the next year here for after Connor probably kind of fades
I
out
didn't
after this
put
year.
him on taxi squad because if James Conner ever goes down, it's the
Yeah,
Trey Benson
He's
show.
startable, yeah.
You
So
can't put him on taxi. He's not a
Yeah.
taxi squad guy.
Connor
Yes.
is up there in age. We know that he misses time, at least a little bit of time every year. So at least it'll give me the opportunity to see him get out there and see what it looks like while he's starting. So I don't want to hope for injuries or anything like that, but just in case, I think leaving him off taxi might be a good play.
Yeah, that's smart. Dalvin Cook, practice squad guy. We'll see if that turns into anything. That's just
What was behind your mindset of picking up Dalvin Cook? Just
I
to
just,
say you had him in fantasy?
No, well, AJ Dillon got thrown on IR and Dalvin Cook was the top waiver ad, so I was just like, okay, fuck it, I'll just throw him on.
That's my old boy. I miss him. Miss the old days.
Just for
Miss a
now.
Bills jersey. Eckler, you know, new system. I think he's just gonna get split time with Brian Robinson.
Did you
Mitchell
hear
should
what
be going on
one
your
of
IR.
the offensive coordinator said that Eckler, it doesn't look like he's missed a step at all, but I didn't watch him play at all last year. Something crazy like that.
Yeah.
He said something super strange. I was like, wow.
Who said that?
They're like, maybe it was a running back coach or their offensive
Really?
coordinator, but it was just
That's weird.
freaking a weird, very weird thing to say about a guy that, you probably should have watched before he's coming into the room.
Yeah. But yeah, Polk, Worthy, Lockett, all solid for backups. You know, you hope Polk
Love the youth
emerges.
at receiver.
Yeah.
Worthy is 62% started, so people are already starting him. Like that's solid. Be excited about that. What Polk was on Washington, right, in college, so wasn't he the number one guy there?
Yeah, with
Yeah.
Odunze
Yeah, so that's
and McMillan.
the talent's there. It's just the situation. Like, I don't. Who knows what the hell's going to happen on that offense this year? So hopefully he emerges. And
He had
becomes
some
the number one guy.
in the last preseason game they had. He had some good plays, so we'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, definitely
Marty,
excited to have him.
quick shout out because like I remember doing the mock draft episode here last time, and my biggest critique of your team was you need young wide receivers, dude. And props to you, you went out into the draft and literally your first 2 picks, fucking wide receiver.
Yeah, you took care of that problem. I think that was
Yeah.
always the plan to begin with.
And
So.
you fixed it with 2 studs, dude. I'm so jealous you have both of them.
Yep,
Yeah.
we'll see how they pan out. I was actually pretty happy that Trey Benson fell for me. I was targeting him too in the second round, and
yeah, you had a good draft. Yeah, you had a lot of
Yeah.
good picks, so I think you made the most of them. Hopefully those all hit. And then why do you have 3 defenses on your bench?
Wild.
none of them are really that good. I'll probably end up dropping one of them, but
You think?
I think we talked about this last time, dude.
You
You like 5
think?
defenses, and you're like, oh, I'll cut one.
well, you need a fucking defense, dude. I mean,
Dude,
if
there's like 10
listen,
defenses in free agency.
people
Like,
and when the season starts, people start hoarding defenses, and then I can't
Yeah.
get one to
you're
start.
the only one hoarding them, dude.
Yeah, you're the only one hoarding them.
Trust me, I won't be the only one, dude. I will not be the
I don't know.
only one.
My
Yeah.
roster space is more valuable than keeping hoarding defenses. So
I
It's
want to stop
pretty-
wasting everyone's time and talking about defenses. And I have a hard hitting question for you, Marty, that I've been waiting to ask you all day too. What's your plan with George Kittle?
good question.
I mean, as of right now, he's a very good backup. I mean, depending on matchups, I'll probably play him or McBride.
Just trade him, dude.
So
92%
matchup
started.
based rotation. I'm about it. I do it myself. So
Yeah, I think that's not a bad play. He'll cover my bye week nice, and then if for whatever reason I do need to start, I could start both of them if they both start having a good year. Kittle had 1,000 yards last year, and maybe could even flex him at this point.
Good.
Yeah.
Good flex.
All right.
He's flexible.
Yeah, good answers. Good answers. Big fan of your team here, Marty. I think your taxi squad's okay. Like good players.
I was kind of
Pearsall took a hit
hoping
with the IU contract today.
Pearsall.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Pearsall definitely see you later.
Nothing with that. I mean, Debo's getting older too, so hopefully, he replaces one of them. But
He'll be on taxi.
Garendo. Didn't Garendo have a pretty good preseason? If I'm not picking
No,
the
he
right
was
player?
hurt
No.
the entire time. He didn't play.
But I think people were high on Garendo for some reason, but I don't know. It's much
He
about.
just has speed. He ran fast at the combine.
Yeah.
Now Elijah Mitchell on IR. Who knows?
Go back
Maybe
down to Marty's
there's
picks. I just want to see that again. Oh, not a lot of picks next year, dude.
Yeah,
A lot
no,
of thirds.
a lot of
Yeah, I
thirds.
had-
So
But
I had
you think you'd stocked up
six-
on this draft, so.
Yeah, I did.
yep.
But
so-
I'm also considering trying to trade. I'll just do what I did this year, which is trade up into the first next year. I'll probably
Yeah.
end up trying to do that.
Nice. All right. Yeah, good team. Yeah, you're number 3 there for a reason, so you'll be right up there. You might even have a chance of winning this year. But good luck trying to beat these top 2 teams there. These teams are fucking scary.
Injuries fuck me every year, dude.
Yeah, that's the healthiest team wins. That's how it goes. Bring up Jorge. So let's talk about him. I love this team. Go ahead and kick us off here, Hugo, because you think you're better than this team. So go
I
ahead.
do think I am better than you, Jorge. I know you're gonna be listening to this, and I wanna also. I love bringing new things to the podcast. I make a jersey bet every year, and you are the guy I want to make it with. I want to break the news here. Jalen Hurts is gonna have a better year than Josh Allen, and I swear to God on it. I don't know how.
Actually, maybe. Actually, you might be right.
I'd love to make it with you. Hit me up on the side after you watch this. I'll know that you listened when you shoot me a text saying accepted. So I just want to throw that out there. I think Josh Allen's gonna have a bad year this year, which is why I ranked myself higher than Jorge. Just on the field wise, supporting cast. Buffalo lost a lot. They're resetting. But going down through the rest of his team now and breaking his team down, he is a freaking nasty team. He really is. 2 stud running backs that are going to be just absolutely fed the ball. Love to see it on Jorge's team. And then the crown jewel of his team that has always been Jefferson and Chase. They're not going anywhere. Jefferson finally got paid. Chase is about to be, I guarantee it, right before the season starts. Laporta is a stud tight end, number 1 dynasty that you want. And solid flex players. I also think my own personal flexes are better, but that's beside the point. Great team. I'm a huge Michael Pittman guy and a huge, massive George Pickens guy. Both of them expected to have a good year. You lost me at Amari Cooper, though. I'm sorry, Jorge. This is where I'm not a big Cooper guy. We'll see. But he showed up for the actual Browns in real life when it mattered last year. So he's going to be a good player. Going through, you have a quarterback problem, dude, if Josh Allen ever goes down. And this is why I don't think you have the depth that other teams do, especially at quarterback, like myself or Marty, or Vinny for that. So, and I know you're trying to rebuild your running back room, you were telling me at the draft. So very good team. Zamir White and Spears are still nasty backups. So I
Yeah.
like them.
All those backup running backs.
Yeah, great backup running backs. And you lose me the rest of the way besides Sinet. Love Sinet. I think he could be a bruiser. After the catching the ball, he's a yak guy. But that's what I got for Jorge.
Yeah. Do you want to talk next, Marty, or I can go?
Yeah, I mean, just if you scroll
I'm gonna
back
start
up
up
to
top.
the top, yeah, if you don't mind. So I mean, to Hugo's point, Josh Allen, he just got rid of Diggs and Gabe Davis, who was his 1 and 2. So I can understand where Hugo's coming from, where he thinks he's going to have a down year because now the receiving core is completely different. But the dude's been the quarterback 1 for 2 years in a row now.
2 years in a row. Props.
If
Won
he's
him the league
not
last year.
if he's not 1, which I could certainly see, I don't think he's going to fall that far off. So he's going to be in the top 5. So you have a top quarterback. You have Etienne, who was the running back 2 last year, and then arguably the 1 and 2 best receivers in the league on your team. I say arguably because I honestly think CeeDee Lamb might be the best receiver in the league. But I just think, and then Laporta, who is the best tight end in the league. So when you're just talking just straight talent and stars, Jorge's got a lot of them. And then
He's got
Pittman,
the best players you would want, like in a fantasy league, in a starting lineup.
yeah, and Josh
Yeah.
Jacobs. I
Very
think Josh
jealous of that.
Jacobs is going to have a good year. And they don't really have, I mean, they have Lloyd, AJ Dillon's out for the season, so they don't really have anyone else really that they can rely on besides Jacobs right now. I mean, maybe the Packers. I mean, we'll see Lloyd play, hopefully, see what he looks like. But I think Jacobs is in for a good year. And then
Packers love to run the ball.
Michael Pittman is last year was just like a staple of
He was
consistency.
a really good wide receiver.
Just consistently just putting up 20 points like every week, just
Every
you know,
week.
not deviating from it. So that's a great flex. And then
People
George-
forget he got him from Vinny, and I honestly shit on him because I didn't think he'd had a good trade getting Pittman. I think I got proven wrong, and he did do a good trade for him.
Yeah, that was a
I
good
really
trade.
like him. And then Amari Cooper and Pickens. I mean I like Pickens a lot. Hopefully he hasn't really been like what did he finish last year? Can you click on Pickens?
Yep.
I think he was
And
just kind of like middle of the pack kind of
30.
guy. Yeah. So
This
pretty-
is finally his
pretty good,
alpha
but
year.
not-
Yeah,
not
he's got a
great,
good
but-
quarterback throwing them. At least one of those quarterbacks will be throwing. Either one of them is pretty better than what they had.
Yeah.
So I think this is Pickens' emergence here. He'll probably be a top 20 receiver at best.
People are selling quarterbacks though, Jorge. You should just maybe like trade a third or a fourth
Dude.
and just pick up, you know, a Daniel Jones or like
Brian has
just
Daniel
somebody,
Jones.
yeah, just somebody that, you know, if, you know, God forbid, Allen does go down, you have at least somebody that is a starter in an offense who can actually maybe put up, you know, some points for you there. I mean, we should on the Giants quarterback a lot, but
Yeah. Real quick.
he has weeks where he's, you know,
He can run.
running for
That's
a lot of yards and putting up
Yeah.
points. So I don't know. I think you could go out there, Jorge, trade a third, get another quarterback, and I think that might be something you look into.
Here's the thing, Marty. I want to talk fake trade negotiations. You could be Jorge and I'm Coco. A third dude, this guy's is still in his prime first. And then I think he's gonna want a second the entire time. But would you do a third, honestly? Would you?
For Daniels?
Yeah.
I think Jorge
Daniel
would.
Jones.
He needs
I
a
think-
quarterback. Third's not a bad
Oh,
price
yeah,
for
Daniel
a position he needs.
Does he
I-
have it? Let's scroll down.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a
He has
third,
one for
not-
26.
I would do it for a 26. Yeah. Even
Maybe
still 26.
a third and a fourth or something.
Or two
I think-
fourths or a fourth. Like I don't think
Yeah.
Jones is going to be worth that much, but
Hell,
a
I'll
third at
sell you
best.
Rodgers for a third, dude. You want Rodgers? Hit me up. But but like I said, I think it's pretty. I mean, Hugo mentioned that it might be a problem quarterback. I honestly think there's a lot of quarterbacks out there that you can probably buy on the cheap. So
Vince has
just-
some options too. As much as
I-
I don't want him to give out Vince assets, but
I would say you might want
No.
to do it
teams.
sooner rather than later. When the regular season starts, people might be charging a little bit more. So
Yeah, you could be held over a barrel.
You guys covered his team pretty well. I don't really have any. Actually, what was his? Go to his taxi. I just pulled up his taxi again. I think we missed that. Thrash. What the? It's got booty on his
Kendrick
I'm
taxi.
not
Bourne,
impressed.
dude, hell yeah.
Yeah,
Honestly,
this
you
is a
could
weak
probably
taxi.
you gotta
He
clear out
has
some of this
thrash on
taxi.
his taxi, if you ask me.
Steal on his
Thrash,
taxi.
yeah.
Yeah, you got to flip that taxi around a little bit. I think. I don't think those bottom
Yeah.
three there are not even worth rostering.
Yeah, this is where I question talent evaluation.
Yeah, I just think the tax is a little bit overlooked for some teams, but
Yeah.
it's not gonna. You're not gonna lose fantasy seasons because your taxi's not good. But yeah, that's solid team, Jorge. We'll move on to number one here.
I think we're good here, guys. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for
Yeah,
coming.
we can just move on now. We know everyone kind of consistently ranked Vince
Yeah.
as number one, and there's a good reason for that.
Anticlimactic, but F you always, Vinny.
There was
Set your
only
goddamn
two
lineup, dude.
teams.
Set your lineup, Vinny. Set your
Yeah, this is
effing
gross, dude.
lineup. I actually, dude, I texted him yesterday and I'm like, Vinny, can I ask for a favor? He's like, yeah, anything for you, Snookums. And I'm like, can you just like set your fantasy lineup, dude, like one time? And he's like, that's the one thing I actually can't do. So he literally does it to torture us.
Specifically
This-
you, because you
yeah,
literally texted him
specifically
about
me.
it, so he knew. But he did this.
He
Like,
has
this is gonna
real
piss Hugo
estate
off.
in this brain here. So he didn't want to do it. He's like, week one hasn't even started yet. And I'm like, dude, stop hoarding the guys you're about to drop on your bench and freaking set your lineup.
Yeah.
So But speaking of it, it's fucking nasty. He's got the best receiver. He's got it all. He's got it all.
Yeah, it's the receiving situation is ridiculous, dude. Like I said, CeeDee Lamb, arguably the best receiver in the league. He's up there with the best of them. And then Amon-Ra, if he's not up there, he's just inches off too. He's fucking
He's right
nasty
there.
too,
He's the next
dude.
guy.
Yeah, he really
they're
is.
top 4 receivers. If it's
Yeah.
not Jefferson and Chase, they're up there too. You can interchange any one of those 4, and those are the top 4. He's got 2 of them. So
And
just
then
like Waddle.
Marvin Harrison, I mean, when you're talking redraft in a dynasty league, Marvin Harrison is right up there too. So it's it's a scary situation for not for Vince, but for the league that these receivers are all on one team. And then Devontae Adams, he's getting older, but he's still a high caliber receiver. Yeah. And then Nico Collins, I mean, we've talked a lot about Houston already, and for good reason. That offense is stacked. So another just heavy hitter on his flex.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's got receivers for days. He'll never have a receiver problem in this league.
Yeah, and to the rest of the league, don't you ever dare trade him a first round for any of them.
Stop giving Vince first, you fucking idiot.
Because it's just gonna keep on going. Literally, he'll never run out.
This is the fault of the league. And mind you, like, kudos to Vince. I think he's a master trade manipulator. He got the most out of people. And for like, and not to, like.
We say it because we love you, Vinny.
Pull up Jordan Love, for example. Let's look at this trade. At the time, this probably wasn't too crazy of a trade, but look how crazy this trade is now. Go scroll down.
Oh,
scroll down.
Hold on.
There you go. Look at this fucking trade. Look at it. Jordan Love and a 2025 first. What the fuck, Dylan?
Yeah.
For Trey Lance,
You
a
fucked
second and a
up big
third.
time.
Didn't Trey Lance throw how many interceptions did he just throw in preseason? Didn't he just throw 3 picks in a preseason game or something like that? He looked
literally
terrible.
It was Jordan Love and Malik Neighbors for Trey Lance, and no, this is a next year pick. I'm sorry, this pick's about to happen.
Lance isn't even on a team.
Yeah, well, he's Cowboys, but sucks.
He was a Cowboy.
Team in this league is what I mean, but he's like he's not rosterable. Like we got to
the best
stop.
quarterback
with
situation.
These trades, guys.
Yeah.
You're throwing money away every year by making those types of trades.
Yeah, you're making me spend more money trying to upgrade my team so I can fucking try and compete with his ass.
And like
fucking Neighbors is coming up there. We haven't talked about Neighbors either.
On
He's also
bench.
freaking. Oh my god. Yeah, it's scary, dude. And Adunze is on taxi,
dude,
but
the
Neighbors.
the disrespect to have Devonta Smith on a bench, it's disgusting, Vinny. Trade him to me. Despicable. Trade him to me. You have no choice.
Just keep scrolling. He's got
Vince's bench lineup is better than Brendan's team.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
It is. Like, that's not even a lie.
Wouldn't even trade his bench for Brendan's starters. Like, there was no reason. He's got Jackson Smith and Jigba there too. Another young Kincaid, Komet.
Kincaid's his starting tight end. He just hasn't put him in yet.
Oh yeah. Who am I thinking? Oh, for some reason I'm thinking he had Andrews. We traded him to you. Yeah, but still, like Kincaid, Komet, that's a great 1-2 punch there for tight end. I think the weakest spot on his team, if we have to nitpick here, is his running backs. But
yeah.
You know,
Romo Dunze on his taxi squad, dude, is so disrespectful.
Yeah, he doesn't need to. You don't need to take him off. Like he's not going to start him over anyone on his bench.
He can literally wait a year for Dunze, throw him on taxi, and he'll be totally fine. And that's probably what he's doing. And,
absolutely.
And honestly, Lloyd though is now he might be the number 2.
Yeah. And then 3 more firsts next year.
I didn't even realize he had 3 firsts next year, dude.
Yep.
So he's gonna fix his running back problem next year.
Yeah.
Dylan's pick will be a top pick in the draft if he drafts a running back there.
Yeah, he drafts a running back next year with Dylan's pick. It's brutal, dude.
Dylan,
you fucking suck at trading, dude. Do better. You have 1 championship, but stop making bad trades.
It must have been a fluke. Is Dylan's championship a fluke? Is it time to start calling it that?
I think it was. He had a path of destiny, I should say. The teams he faced to get there, they just had really bad weeks, and that's that happens. Like that, you can win off that, but I'm not going to give you like props if like there wasn't a dominant win. It was just you slid by.
But yeah, F you, Vinny. Overall, that's the rankings, boys. I want to talk about how do we feel about the league? Like, give people a good conversation here. Where do we think the league's at?
Well, after looking at Vince's lineup, dude, I just got depressed because that team is way above everybody else, dude. That thing is leagues above everyone else. But
Yeah.
I mean, it
It's
just
actually
takes.
sucks how famous he's become from because people know about Vinny just having the dominant team in this league from like other leagues that we like have friends with people that know about Vinny's team. That's how good it is, dude.
Well, we
Vince is,
still
Vince
ain't
is
got
good at
Miles
fantasy.
Sanders from him, dude.
Vince is good at fantasy. He's one of the best fantasy players that we play with, and
Yep.
he knows football. He knows his shit. He also knows how to manipulate people in trades, and I think people need to stop selling high to Vince. Yeah, you guys got to figure it out. Stop giving him players. It's too late, anyways. Like he's winning the next. He has a chance to win the next 6 years. So
He's gonna win one of the next 2 or 3 for sure. If not
Yeah.
if not this year, yeah.
if not this year, yeah. He's definitely the favorite to win it this year. Is it time for prediction? Who gives him the best chance?
I mean, I think it's Jorge, you, and Marty. Those are the top three that probably can compete with
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, I'm not gonna select one, but you're right, Matt. It's me, Marty, or Jorge. It's just one of the four has to do it. We're the only teams that can really compete with them, dude.
Anything
Yeah.
in the playoff. I mean, anything can happen in the playoffs. Like we've seen like good teams get eliminated early, but it's gonna be it's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be easy. Vince is he's probably gonna have a bye, so he only has to win 2 in the
Oh, he
playoffs.
for
So
sure has a bye, so he only has to win 2 games, which is we just got to catch him one of those weeks like Jorge did this past year.
yeah.
So-
Yep.
Oh, never mind. But yeah, that's the power rankings, boys. Just to kind of give you a little bit of a foresight into what's going to be going on for the rest of the season with the podcast. We're probably going to try and do more, but we're probably going to try and do every like 4 weeks, do like a quarterly check-ins for the season. We'll do like a playoff preview as well. Like to get more new faces on the podcast too. Much as I love Hugo being on,
yeah,
we
fucking someone else
let's
come on.
come on. Let's get the
Yeah,
league more
I
content.
want to watch a
Stop.
podcast for a change.
You can give us an hour and a half of your time. It's fun to do. It's fun to listen to. Give the league some more content. Let's get the chat going. I tried to get like Brennan on today. I tried to get Vince on. Jorge, Dylan. You know,
Yeah.
Jorge's in Portugal. Everyone else is busy. Whatever. It was like, well, I'm gonna try and reach out to people earlier to get some more faces on. I'd like to get Vince in here. He's never been on.
Yeah.
I think everyone's been on aside from Vince.
Just make the league a little bit more funner.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
a
get
this
some
is, I
more
mean, it's a great league.
opinions.
It's a great league. I like
Yeah.
when we're active and talking and shit talking each other and just it's nice to get more people's opinions on the podcast too. It makes it more interesting. I don't know how much you guys listen to us or if you enjoy it, but we enjoy doing it.
Yeah,
But
low
yeah,
key, like besides the money part that you like that makes you invested anyways, it's like, hey, like make it care just a little more and just I think it would make you have more fun. Like yes, everyone has more or less time on their hands than others, but be more involved. Freaking say what's up in the chat more often.
yeah. I mean, I'll reach out to people in advance. We'll plan it out. You know, make some time. We do it during the week typically. We could do it on a weekend. We'll be flexible. But yeah, we'll wrap it up here. Week 4, we'll check in 4 weeks or 5 weeks. NFL season starts next week. Should be fun. Some college football on this weekend.
Yeah.
You know, let's get
It's
into it,
football
boys.
season,
Football
boys.
season.
Get pumped. Not a bold prediction. It's gonna be an actual fact. Coco starts 0-2 this year.
I got him week 1, baby. I'll make that true release for week 1.
Let's go.
But yeah, thanks for coming on, Hugo, Marty. Thanks for hosting with me. But yeah, let's wrap this up. We'll talk to everybody later. I'll try to put this in the chat tonight. So
All right. Good
y'all
luck,
later.
everyone. Week
Yeah.
1's coming. Good luck.
Happy footballing.
Except for Dylan. Hope you lose because you're versus me. But all right. Talk to you guys
All right.
later.
Peace.
He's gonna catch one of us, dude. He really is.
It probably is me. All right. Adios.